don't know if I could be monogamous. He's not allowed to live in his truth. If Neo decides that he doesn't want just one woman, he wants 3 or 4 women. That's his lifestyle choice. Isn't he living in his truth? So ask yourself that question. Why aren't we as men allowed to live in our truth? Why do you say you want the truth, and then when a man tells you the truth, you don't want to hear the truth? If a man tells you, I'm not sure if I can be monogamous, isn't that him living in his truth? Isn't it? Why is it like that? Why is there a double standard between men and women and who can live in their truth? That's one thing that I will never understand. You will always back a man that comes out, is gay, and says he's living in his truth. One of the saddest things about the Luther Vandross documentary is his friends saying that Luther can never come out and live in his truth. Right? But when a man wants to have multiple women and says, I'm not trying to be monogamous. I don't know if I can be monogamous. I can't be monogamous. Oh, he greedy. Maybe that's his truth. Maybe it's his truth. Why can't men live in their truth the way we want to live in our truth? Why do we always have to live in our truth the way you want us to live in our truth? But it's okay for you to live in your truth any way you see fit. Anyway, you can be gay for a little while, then come back to men and be straight for a little while, and then go back to women again. But that's you living in your truth, right? But if we decide to live in our truth by saying we can't be monogamous, or we don't know if we can be monogamous, we're not allowed to live in our truth. Come on, son.
The interesting thing about the fight between Lee and Han at the end of Enter the Dragon is that Han knew from the beginning that he could not beat Lee, so the only thing he could do was to confuse him and use indirect attacks, try and disorient him and try and get him off guard. If he fought him straight up, or should I say when he did fight him straight up, I mean, it was no match. But that's essentially what we're having here. If you're trying to have a conversation about the 50% plus of black men who don't have any children, are not breaking the law, are not in jail, are going about their lives as regular straight up taxpayers, and those men cannot find wives, it's much easier to tell the young ladies that are looking up to Meg Thee Stallion that she's living her life the way she wants to live it, and when it's time for her to settle down, or when she chooses to, no man has any right at all to have any issue with her past or what she's done with herself, and he should be loyal to her. Instead of having the conversation that, hey, there are plenty of stand-up men, maybe they're not rich or rich just yet, and they're looking for someone to build a family with or to enjoy their lives with, and for any relationship slash family slash community slash racial group slash the black community to work, both sides have to assume a responsibility in making it work. That is not very popular, and that is not an argument or a conversation that will be had in the room full of mirrors. But what we are seeing is that the mirrors are starting to get cracks in them. And even people that are not normal speakers on these gender war, whatever you want to call it, are entering the conversation. They're noticing that if Meg Thee Stallion can shake her thing and do what she wants to do with whomever, then why can't Klay Thompson do the same thing? Why is it that Klay Thompson has to be Russell Wilson 2.0? He has to be faithful just to her, and she is the best woman that he's ever met. It just doesn't add up. And now I think the third issue that is what is so interesting about this Klay Thompson dilemma is that young ladies themselves are starting to see that the world around them are not acquiescing to that argument that's being had in that room full of mirrors. And what we're starting to see now is fear. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.
and not a single man can say I've had.
Except it's only recently that young ladies are trying to rewrite the rules.
You know what? You're right. It's only fair that I display the male celebrity's alleged body count as well. Let's start strong with Leonardo DiCaprio. Wow. He is so easy. And Brad Pitt is no better. Just giving it out. Little Mr. 9 baby mamas and counting future. And what about Harry Styles? Then Chris Brown is trying to run through every Karuchi lookalike. This is Offset. I think Sweetie's missing. Here's the lover boy, Drake.
So the number one thing a man's looking for is a woman who can stand next to him that every single man wants, and not a single man can say I've had.
That needs to be studied, because I'm still questioning. Are y'all sure y'all really like women? Now, before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, do all the things. I'm gonna talk my shit and have a good time. But let's get into it. The way that I'm seeing grown-ass men go up and excited for the fact that Megan Thee Stallion got cheated on, it's weird. And it's really giving y'all don't like women. The way that I'm seeing men like Lil Duval making posts about it and talking about how klay, you know, basically is so cool because he got with her so he can get more women, and now she needs to title her next album, I Might Be the Problem. No, it's these men that are the problem, and men like you who dick ride can't see that because you're so busy focused on hoping that these men give you attention, which is why I'm wondering if you really like men. Because the way that y'all want attention from these other men and pats on the backs and kudos and accolades, it's weird. Y'all would rather get accolades from another man than you would from a woman. And it's really given a lot of y'all have mommy issues, and you think because you love your mom, you don't have mommy issues, but what you haven't come to the understanding of yet, because you lack the depth and emotional intelligence to get it, is that you really have love for your mom, but you also resent her. And so when you get excited by women being harmed, that's that little boy in you, that little resentment, because y'all really are mad at her because your daddies didn't do what the fuck they were supposed to do. And you mad at her because you really can't be mad at him. And that's why y'all seek attention from these other men, because the way y'all perform for these men when you could really just say nothing, it's wild, especially when you're damn near 50 years old. And you could pull, well, these people are comedians and they get this and that. There's plenty of comedians not saying anything. It's because you're really a 50-year-old fucking child. That's why you're still in a little boy's body. This is why, you know, you're still 50 damn near calling yourself little, because that's a little ass mindset. And it's really weird, because when you're 50 and you're excited about a 31-year-old woman being cheated on and you're damn near 50, it's very odd. Like, you literally could have had her in high school and have been a parent to this person. And you're over here making fun of the fact that she was cheated on. And you need to really wonder why. And this is why y'all continue to date all these women, you know, like with people who, y'all have an abundance of women around you, women who wouldn't give you the time of day if you weren't who you were. But you have those abundance of women because you're really not happy with yourself. And so you are looking for some satisfaction in having a whole bunch of women because it makes you feel like a man.
Black men have for black women better than Kevin Samuels. Klay Thompson has exposed the absolute hatred black men have for black women better than Kevin Samuels did. He has exposed them to a depth that I don't think we were even ready to handle. I've been saying for at least 3 years now, maybe longer, that this is a season of exposure. And you know, seasons can go on for generations. And this is somehow worse. And we all know how bad Kevin Samuels was. And then to hear his supporters still to this day, well, you know, when he first started, he was on the men. Yeah, but the men didn't make him any money. So he got on women and never let up. He got worse and worse as they gave him more and more power. At least with the Kevinette beef blowers, we knew what we were dealing with because it was a certain type of male, you know, dusty, busted, angry, bitter, broke. We knew what we were ugly. We knew what we were dealing with them. But now, whew, this is something sinister. And especially with all of the unalivings that have been happening back to back to back to back to back by the hands of these creatures. This is something different. It's something vile. It's evil at this point. At first it was just mean, and we know that they were just mad that we were leaving them behind and that they didn't take advantage of the same things that we have, like college, job opportunities. They were just waiting to ride for free off of our hard work. And when we said no, that needed to stop. That's when they got angry. So we knew what we were dealing with. But now, my 30th anniversary of graduating from my beloved Cheney University is this year, 1996. My 30th year is this year. And I'm not going to homecoming because of how the males who I thought were my brothers, the males who I would have laid my life down for because I thought that we were family. Not after this. Not after this. This is beyond the pale because they can't come back from this. That's the part that they don't realize, is that we're not going to forget. We're not going to forget. And if they think that the nursing homes are going to be full, if you think that they're full now, and they're full now of black males between the ages of 40 and 60, which is extremely young, but those are the men at one point we would be taking care of, trying to build with them, trying to help them get their life back, trying to help them get their lives back on track with our hard work and our love and our understanding. We're not doing that no more. Because for what? After they've shown us. This is the second time. Kevin Samuels was the warning. It's now here. And with everything going on in the news, it's now here. It's right in front of us, and we won't forget it.
I have Lilith and Scorpio. What this does is it creates a woman. Megan Thee Stallion has Lilith and Scorpio. I have Lilith and Scorpio. What this does is it creates a woman who is highly smexy and smexual and powerful and rebellious all at once. And the problem with this is patriarchy in general, whether we talk about men or women, don't like this shit. They don't like it because men don't like it because what do you mean you that smexy? You that powerful and I can't possess you? What do you mean you know your own power and you won't let me have that shit? You won't let me have ownership over that shit, have some form of control over that shit. Because a Lilith and Scorpio, psychologically, they are so in tune with the truth of their own power that they are sovereign, just as they know everybody else is sovereign. They know the truth of humanity. This is why Lilith got her ass up from up under that man, because y'all know the story. She wanted to be on top, he didn't want on top. She's sitting there questioning shit, like, why I can't be on top? So now she's questioning shit. She goes into the depths and starts to question shit that she ain't supposed to necessarily question. Because why? Because he's bigger. Because he's perceivably more powerful. And she's like, well, why is that? You know, she goes back and forth to the point that she gets to this revelation of, I don't want to do this shit. You got me fucked up. That is Lilith in the flesh. Men will always have a fucking vendetta against a woman who is that prominent with Lilith energy. I'm trying to tell you. Unless he is extremely woke. I ain't talking about regular woke, because you got levels to woke when it comes to the benefit and the privilege of patriarchy. You know, they get real normal when it comes to the privileges of patriarchy. A woman who has Lilith and Scorpio challenges the shit out of a man, because now she has a certain level of sex appeal that makes him feel weak.
When they're going through the worst of the worst, it's always, oh, she's a bitch. Her attitude is funky. I think one of the main things that's bothering me about this Klay and Meg situation is the fact that she said, I held you down through your horrible mood swings and your mistreatment towards me during basketball season. And this is really getting under my skin because I feel like we often make excuses for people's behavior when they're facing adversity, and mistreatment is never okay because you didn't do it to them. You're not responsible for what they're going through. And I hate that society penalizes women for their attitudes when they're going through the worst of the worst. It's always, oh, she's a bitch. Her attitude is funky. But when it comes to a man, it's, oh, he's going through a lot right now. He just lost his job. His granny died. They're always coddled. And I think we be forgetting that these are grown men. Stop infantilizing them. The same way you're a grown woman and you know how to regulate and control your emotions, he should be able to do the same thing. Like, hello, aren't the men supposed to be the leaders? Like, I'm so confused. I am confused. And I don't care how much a man apologizes for his lash outs and his mood swings or whatever the case may be, because without change behavior, it's manipulation, and depending on what's happening, it may or may not be emotional abuse too, and we're not doing that. Stop holding these men down through troubled times, because 9 times out of 10, they will not do that for you, okay? They're not writing for you the same way that you're writing for them. We learned that when we heard Mendici say that he would not hold Yandy down if the roles were reversed. That blew my mind. Are you insane? Nothing good ever comes from holding a man down. When it's all said and done, you're literally left to pick up the pieces with all this pain and trauma because you lack boundaries. And it's not fair to you, and it's not worth it, because most of the time they just go on with their lives. Obviously, leaving someone when they're going through things, it's a lot easier said than done, right? But he doesn't get to emotionally abuse you and play this hot and cold game because he's having a hard time. You wouldn't do that to him. So don't allow him to do that to you.
We're not going to forget this. So they really screwed themselves. And for the good men, oh, they messed it up for the good men too, because we're not going to believe any of y'all exist. We're not going to believe any of them exist. Nothing good. Everything has to be approached with absolute and extreme caution. And if they think we had strict programs before, okay, y'all really messed it up. Y'all messed up. All of you underneath my voice, y'all messed up. And y'all allowed it. Because this has been stemming since Tommy Sotomayor, whatever his name was. This has been since then, probably before him, but now it's at a level of life or death. Us or them. And we choose us. Y'all messed up. We're not going to forget. Y'all better get them nursing home reservations ready. Because y'all not coming to live at our house. Fuck that.
Oh, right. Humiliation. I saw a post from Jasmine's Garden, I'll tag her below, about why it makes sense that black witches all over are lighting black candles with Klay's name carved into them. It's not just specifically about what happened to Meg. It's about the way that we are constantly treated, degraded, and discarded. And even the fact that Meg was able to be so transparent with her relationship, but also with the fallout of it, is an indication of the kind of solidarity that she specifically has created with black women, with her fans, as a black woman just going through it, just going through life. We talk about protecting Meg, we talk about protecting black women. When we say believe black women, trust black women, care for, love black women, Megan is a perfect example of that.
Okay, what do you guys think so far?
Well, I'd like to hear her talk more about the mystery.
Behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
Why is it okay for only women and gay men to live in their truth? If a man faked being heterosexual his whole life, even if he had a wife, and even if he had children with that wife, if later on in life he came out and said, I'm gay, I've been in the closet, now I want to live my life as a gay man, he's living in his truth. Y'all get behind him 100%.
If you're any fan of movies, and I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say this, one of the most visually stunning movie-making scenes ever filmed was the mirror scene from Enter the Dragon. I do believe the scene was put into the film to teach not just Lee, the main character, but the people watching that the illusion of things can trick you. But if you are only living in a world of illusions and never really break the glass to see what the actual truth is, those illusions are real to you. I didn't think that social media was quote unquote real, or what I would say is, if you had asked me before maybe this last couple of days, do I think social media is real? I would say on some occasions I think it's real, sometimes it's not. But seeing how many people, and specifically young ladies, are focused on trying to get some kind of retribution for Klay Thompson has taught me social media, or dare I say the room of mirrors, is real to many of these young ladies.
Question, and I need you to answer fast. Where's Taylor Swift's list? Where's her meme? Where's Ariana Grande's meme? Where's Kim Kardashian's meme? No, because I need to know, especially Taylor Swift, because when Travis Kelce ended up getting with her, all I kept hearing was that he upgraded.
The word on town been out about Shorty, like her nickname used to be 2 Cups of Henny. Facts. That's what I heard. It says, yo, 2 cups of Henny. I never even met Meg. How I know this? This is the word. This is the water cooler talk. Oh, her? 2 cups of Henny, dog. 2 cups of Henny.
No, because I need to know, especially Taylor Swift, because when Travis Kelce ended up getting with her, all I kept hearing was that he upgraded. This woman has a history of a lot of men in the industry that she's allegedly been with. Where is her meme? Why no man was saying that Ariana Grande don't deserve for nobody to take her serious? She be taking people men, allegedly. All right, what's Kim Kardashian had a whole sex tape. I didn't see y'all telling Kanye don't wife it. And even if you did, it wasn't nothing like what y'all doing with Meg. At this point, I'm going to have to believe that this is because she's black.
If a woman is a professional athlete or whatever, not a professional athlete, a lawyer, attorney, whatever, and she's been with men and she loves men, and then all of a sudden she decides that she don't want to be with men anymore and she wants to be with another woman, y'all back her 100% because she's living in her truth, right? But if Klay Thompson tells Megan Thee Stallion, I don't know if I could be monogamous, he's not allowed to live in his truth.
It looked like to me that Megan was just some work for him during the season to get him through the season.
If you're like me, you probably are reaching or have already reached your wit's end of this Klay Thompson talk, but it has revealed a couple of things. One of them, of course, is that many young ladies live in a glass house of mirrors that is reinforcing many of the things that they want to hear on social media, which leads me back to my point of, is it real to those young ladies? Yes, it is. When social media tells them they can go out and date who they want and be with who they want to be with, and body count doesn't matter, then they do that, and then they get back on social media and they hear more of that and they go out and do more of that. The second thing I believe that's happening in this whole Klay Thompson quote unquote dust up is that some of those mirrors are getting cracked. If you're someone who looks in the mirror every day and you don't care about the cracks, you just find the parts of the mirror that aren't cracked and keep doing what you're doing. But if you're some of the more casual users of social media and you have been privy to these conversations of you're single to you're married, don't let your husband stop you from finding your love of your life or whatever, all of these memes that are basically telling young ladies you can do what you want when you want with your body however way you feel, and at the end of it you deserve a high value man. Well, guys are looking at that and saying, well, if your truth is your truth, then is it just for you? And the consistency is just not there.
But I just stumbled across this picture of, I have to post it just for context and conversation, of Megan Thee Stallion being bent over by a line of rappers or people that she's known to have fucked, been involved with romantically or otherwise, among other things. And let me tell you something. Megan Thee Stallion can fuck anybody she wants to fuck.
She's a 304. She's a 304. Good. She's experienced. Why do you want to be with somebody that's bad at sex? Why do you want to be with somebody you gotta teach sex to? That's kind of weird. Yeah, but her body count. The only niggas that, in my experience, care about body count are niggas that ain't fucking like that.
Many of you, same men, same straight black men, were calling Klay Thompson a simp, called him everything under the sun when you thought he was treating Megan well.
It's like this weird concept that after Shorty has had sex with multiple people, like, did she not shower after these niggas? Or like, did she not get tested after these niggas? Like, what's the issue?
Just to realize when he was basic and ain't shit and was discovered to be that way.